You want to truly know if you have an immature character, you can tell by this rule how difficult it is for you to laugh at yourself. That's just immaturity. And if you cannot discern the difference between somebody being malicious towards your ethnicity and somebody finding humor in the differences, put a helmet on! We've got to laugh again. We've got to laugh again because we are different. I'd rather laugh about it than fight about it. You see, we used to be able to. We used to be able to. But I told you I was a theist, and I am. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm just a follower. I don't call myself a Christian rarely because the first church never did. They call themselves the way or followers of the way. Christianity was, the word Christian was given to them later, and it was actually a derogatory term. I'm just a follower of Jesus. He's way up there, and I'm just trying to catch up. I'm just stopping half the time. Go ahead, Lord, I'm bushed. I'm staying back here and stumbling for a minute. Go ahead. I just follow. But I also believe that this is a great and powerful belief system. And I want us to be able to talk about it to other people in an intelligent way. An intelligent way. And we're always looking for ways to be against each other. When I was growing up in a church, they told me Catholics were all going to hell. Oh, the Catholics are going to hell because they see Mary everywhere. Look, Mary's in the side of the road. Look at her. Mary's in a toaster. Look at that. Mary's in a tortilla. Run, run. And it's true. Catholics see Mary everywhere. Protestants see Satan everywhere. Oh, Satan's in my radio. Satan made me lose my job. No, your incompetence made you lose your job. Ever seen these people that always blame Satan for everything that happens in their life? If he did anything, he pretty much just woke them up that morning. They took it from there. Everybody's always looking for a place for Satan to show up, some weird place that Satan's going to show up. When I was growing up, it was backward masking. Backward masking. Satan's everywhere. Oh, he's going to be in the backwards records. Backwards records in the 80s, New Age. Satan's in the New Age. In the 90s, it was something, I'm sure. I don't know what it was. Now it's Harry Potter books. Now it's Harry Potter books. Harry Potter books! Don't even touch the cover of the Harry Potter book! I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and a church had a Harry Potter book burning. Let me tell you something. I believe as a believer in Jesus that everything you do is supposed to drive people to the cross and not away. And let's face it, nothing makes people come through the doors of a church like a good old-fashioned book burning, huh, folks? Use your mind. Think about people, how they perceive you. Anything you're about to do, you should think about the method first before you do it. And I think a good rule of thumb is if Hitler tried it, maybe go another direction. But I believe that intelligence should bring you to the precipice of faith, that this is not a religion of ridiculousness that we're just trying to find some way out, but that religion can teach you why you're here, and it can get you to that place where faith makes sense. So that's why when I see Christians acting stupid, I say it. Backward masking, 16, you know what I'm talking about. They said if you took certain rock and roll records, certain rock and roll, your 16 records are like giant CDs. Now we got CDs, so apparently Satan's in hell going, now what are we going to do? I get some Japanese demons on this technology immediately. Satan can't even do that. He'd hit a horn. CDs. Oh. See, that's where he is. That's where he was. They said if you took certain rock and roll records, here's what they told me, and you play them backwards, as so many of us tend to do. Excuse me, if you're starting to play your records backwards, perhaps you deserve to hear a message from Satan. He's probably just giving instructions. It's going the wrong way. You've got to use your mind. If words backwards are evil, all words backwards would be evil. Dallas, Texas, people would be dropping dead from vegetables. Coincidence? No, not when you realize Dallas backwards is salad. Only half you got that. Good, okay. Only half the people in Virginia get joked. Coincidence? No, not when you realize Virginia backwards is a... Catalina. Most people in Catalina have spastic colons. Coincidence? No, not when you realize Catalina backwards is anal attack. See that right there? Should give you some information. We got a couple people. You can't say that in church, I don't believe. That's what they said. Satan's there. We become lazy in this country as Christians. I knew we were getting lazy in this country when we started putting handles on our Bibles. There's like Christians all around the world trying to hide their Bibles. We got like, my Bible's too heavy. Lord, thank you for this handle. It makes it easier, but could it be possible that you could fashion some holy handlebars so I could steer my Bible? And perhaps a wheel and a saddle, like I might bring it in, come in early, and lay it down on the pew or between two seats so I can save, and that way I can leave and go to Starbucks and get a double latte cappuccino frappe so I can stay awake for the second service. We got 50 Bibles apiece. We don't even know the books of them. We got to have tabs showing us where everything is. Where's Genesis? Where's Genesis? The early church had scrolls. You imagine that? Big old scrolls, hang them on your back, they're chafing you everywhere you go. If they were new, you'd open up, they'd slam shut on you, it'd be embarrassing. People trying to be a good witness, let me talk to you about the Lord. Okay, if you look right here in Habakkuk. Habakkuk, I don't know how you print it. You don't either. You haven't read it either. What are you talking about? I believe in Jesus. I believe in him. And there's a lot of people that don't, and he gives you the right to do that. But I just want you to know that faith does have purpose and value, and it can be used intellectually. And people say, yes, what's the difference? You know, the Bible's just another book. No, first off, that's wrong. The Bible's not a book. The Bible's 66 books. 40 different people wrote it. Over 1,500 years. There's never been a book like that in history. Ever. Does that make it the Word of God? No. It just means it's worth considering. Because there's never been a book like this. Gives you some reason to consider it over the others. Well, how about history? For hundreds of years, archaeology has used the Old Testament and New to find buildings, to find people, to find civilizations, to find kings that didn't exist or they didn't think they did. And suddenly the Bible said they're there and they dug it up and there it was. Does that make it the Word of God? No. It means it's historically accurate. Real people really existed and really wrote down what they saw. It's worth considering. And then they said, we're going to have God show up. And lots of people said that. Lots of religions say it. Don't worry, we'll prove it as a rational God would do. I will do prophecies. I will show that I'm not trapped in linear time, that I can see beyond where you are. I will give prophecies to tell you what the guy, when I show up, when God appears on earth to reveal himself, I'll show you what he's going to look like. Over 300 prophecies. And then a man showed up one day named Jesus. And he said, I'm that guy. And he fulfilled all 300 prophecies. That's impossible. People could say, well, yes, they just wrote it afterwards and filled it all in. But we know that the first Greek translation of the Old Testament was done 250 years before Jesus was born. So how could they possibly know that he'd be born in Bethlehem? How could they possibly know he was going to be crucified when crucifixions didn't even exist as a capital punishment yet? How could they know that he'd be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver 250 years before there was a Jesus? Does it make it the Word of God? No, but it's